Well, already this season, you've had a historic streak come to an end. The longest streak in NBA history. You went 1,297 games with scoring 10 points or more. Like that's a crazy record. That's your floor, basically, is 10 points. Is insane over the course of like almost 1,300 games. Did you feel so confident in that you just thought like, well, this is going to last the rest of my career? Or were you like, no, it could happen any night?
No, I mean, for me, it was never even a thought, you know. And, you know, once people start talking about it more and more every day, that obviously human nature kind of kicks in. You know, I'm a guy that goes to the bench and I like to look at the stat sheet. I like to look at, you know, team turnovers, my personal turnovers, you know, fast break points, what we're giving up, you know, points off turnovers, whatever the case may be. And I look what I'm shooting from the field. Like I like to be super efficient. So, you know, I'd be lying to say that I don't know how many points I have at any given moment of the game, but I don't go in a game. I never went to the game during the streak saying, okay, I have to get 10 points. Like I have to keep this streak going. It would be a disservice to me in the way I play the game. And it showed in how the streak ended on how I've always played the game. It's just, how can we win? How can we win? Listen, I've done some incredible things in my career. And to be able to have a streak, to be able to be mentioned with some of the greats, to be able to live out my dream, it's all just like, it's surreal to me. So, but the one thing that's going to always be a common thing for me is just always making the right play. And for it to end in that fashion was literally just the way I was taught how to play the game. And I've always done it that way.
So for those who didn't see it, late game in Toronto, Bron has 8 points. How many were you down? Down 2?
We were tie game.
Bron draws a crowd, makes a pass to Rui, I think in the left corner. Rui hits a 3 for the game. Incredible pass, incredible play, made the right play, like you said. We talked about it before, you know, earlier in your career, you used to take heat for not taking the last shot. Which is ridiculous, right? Like you got to make the right play. And so here you go again with your streak on the line, you make the right play. But so clearly you were aware you hadn't got your 10 points?
I was clearly aware. You know, I was so not in the rhythm at that point. I don't even know how many, I think it maybe my 4th or 5th, maybe 6th game back. I had no rhythm offensively. But the one rhythm I know that I will always have is the ability to draw a crowd and put the ball on time on target, you know? So, you know, I had a couple shots in that game where literally I had a 3 on the right wing that would have put me up to 11 points that literally hit all the rim, hit the backboard, came back around the rim again, and then came out. I was like, okay, it's one of those nights. Right? It's one of those nights. So, you know, the mindset has always stood to obviously, you know, at the end of the day, keep the main thing, and that's just winning the game.
Yeah, well, it was poetic that you ended your streak with a dime for game. Was there any moments during the nearly 1,300 games where it was the closest, where you're like, oh man, I didn't think tonight was the night?
Yeah, I mean, there were some close calls for sure. You know, I remember I had a season in which I don't know if it was 2021 or 22 or maybe 20, I don't know, coming out of the bubble. And I was playing some of the best basketball of my career, even at that stage of my career. And we were playing in Atlanta and, my leg got rolled up on and, you know, and anytime that I've got like, you know, sprained my ankle or my leg got rolled up on or whatever, I've like had this routine of like, okay, you feel it, but let's just tighten the shoes. Let's tighten the shoes up a little bit tighter and let's get going. And, you know, I played a little bit more through it. You know, I was in the left wing, got a pass, hit a 3. I think that actually put me up to 10 points, you know, and my legs just started like getting really, really hot. And like I could barely run. And I had to come out of the game. And you know, basically, long story short, I think I was out maybe 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain, and that was one of the moments where I was like, "Oh yeah," They very easily could have ended, you know, that night.
What was that like? Like the flip side.
Right. And I never set out a goal to be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Like I looked at that number, as a rookie, as a high school kid, as a elementary kid, middle school kid. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like that is so many points. Not only so many points, it's so many years of dominance and longevity. Guys are not playing that long. Guys are not playing into their 20th year or 19th year or 21st year, whatever the case may be. And as the years went on and I started to pass guys, and I started to, feel like my body was like not breaking down at year 15, 16, 17. And I kept climbing the ranks, and then they start doing those. Well, if you keep this pace up in 6 years, he'll be right here. If you keep this pace up in 5 years, if you keep this pace up in 4 years, and then it started becoming like a realistic thing, because I felt like my body was not breaking down, and that's when it became a thing. Like, if you keep this pace up, if he averages his average of 27 points, 25 points a year for 65 games a season for the next 4 or 5 years, then he'll be right there. He has a chance to break it. So, a few years back, it was like, in 35 games, 45 games, if he keeps this up, like, I was like, it started to become like nerve wracking and also like, oh my God, like, is this really a possibility? There's certain stats in sports history that you just don't ever think that's going to be broken. And that happened to be one of them, and for me to be able to accomplish that feat while not trying to accomplish the feat, I think, that's even more like surreal to me. Like I'm first all time in points, but I'm also fourth all time in assists. For that moment to happen, family, friends, everybody, Kareem holds the ball to me, and gives me the ball, passes it down to me. Like, bro, that was
that's amazing.
Unbelievable, surreal moment. Unbelievable.
Yeah. As far as record.